did in the guilt phase. Once again, you must not conduct any investigation of your own. The same rules continue to apply. Just as in the guilt phase of this case, a defendant has the absolute right to remain silent. From the exercise of a defendant's right to remain silent, a jury is not permitted to draw any inference regarding the existence of an aggravating factor or an appropriate sentence, and the fact that a defendant did not take the witness stand must not influence your sentencing decision in any manner whatsoever. We now begin with the opening statements of the attorneys, and the state may proceed with its opening statement.
Morning, everyone. Morning. All right, so as you've already found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder of Tania Wise and first-degree murder of what would be her second son, the defendant's fifth child, Josiah Wise. And as the judge just explained to you, all of the evidence that was introduced during the guilt phase applies in the penalty phase. So all of the evidence that you learned, all of the testimony, that all applies in this case, and if you need to bring it, it'll go back with you again if you need it. So what is the first step that we talked about? And this goes back to jury selection. The state has to prove each of the aggravating factors beyond a reasonable doubt. And what you'll see when you go back and you think about the evidence that from the guilt phase applies to this case is that has all been proven. Each one of those have been proven by beyond a reasonable doubt. And the judge talked to you about 4 different factors. 3 of them apply to both victims. And when we talk about both counts are independent of themselves. The defendant can get a death sentence on both counts. He can get a death sentence on one or the other. He can get death for first-degree murder of an unborn child, or he can get the death sentence on just Tania Wise. He can get life on both counts. That's your decision. But what the evidence that was presented in this case already shows is that each and every one of those aggravating factors has already been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And when you use your common sense, it's pretty clear. Because what's the first one? Contemporaneous, there's a capital conviction. Both of the murders you've already found him guilty of. That's what that factor is. It's been proven you've already found him guilty of both murders at the same time of both the victims. That factor's been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. What's the next one? Financial gain. How has that been proven? He told us in the garbage truck, I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to lose it. He needs to stop this before he has another child. It's going to ruin his marriage. It's going to cost him money. There's a potential for there to be a separation. He's got a new child to take care of. He wanted to eliminate the possibility of his wife finding out and the existence of him having another child. He did this for a financial gain. He tells Eric Alvarado days and times over and over again, what is his situation? It's been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The fourth one that applies to just the victim, once again, you use your common sense. You think about this, the victim was less than 12. We know the gestational age of the baby. She was 8 months pregnant. Once again, the evidence that's already been presented in this case proves that beyond a reasonable doubt. So when you go back there, the first step should be those 3 easily proven beyond a reasonable doubt. What is the last one? It was done in a cold and calculated and premeditated. And the judge, he defined those to you. Cold is a cool, calm reflection. Let's go back to the garbage truck video. He planned this out for days, over and over again. He drives around in his garbage truck discussing, should I do it this way? Should I blow her brains out? Should I choke her? Would it be easier to get it done with one blow and be done with this? They look at many different spots of where he's going to dump the body. Is anyone going to find her out here? He thinks about what her life is like. No one's going to be looking for her. He talks about how he's going to lure her out there. It's all been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Any one of the 4 aggravating factors in and of itself can justify the death penalty if you go through the whole process and you follow the laws instructed by the judge. All 4 of them can, but each one is independent of itself, and the first step is, do you find that there are aggravating factors? And the evidence shows yes, all 4 of them are there. Now, do those aggravating factors justify the death penalty? Yes. I encourage you that they do. And when you go back and you look at all of the evidence in this case, you look at the aggravating factors, you consider the mitigating circumstances, the appropriate sentence is the death penalty in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. And the defense is going to make an opening statement at this time. Mr. Burns.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, good morning. Good morning. I have waited long to address you, but more about that later. The state will, I think, likely prove, probably already has, that this killing was done coldly and calculatedly and premeditatedly. I think they're going to prove that to you. So I think you probably will have an aggravator in your pocket. And I think regarding the victim, Josiah, who looked in the autopsy photos so much to me like a newborn baby, I think you're certainly going to find that he is under the age of 12. And this is the opportunity where I will tell you what the mitigators will be and what my witnesses will be and who they will be and what they will say. And I would love to tell you all about it, but I don't know. Since the conviction, many of my witnesses have melted away. They won't be here. Victims of their own moral cowardice, in my opinion. I could compel their appearance by subpoena, but I'm here to beg for a man's life, and I don't want people in the witness chair who don't want to help me do that. So I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen beyond this afternoon. This afternoon, I will present a witness. His name is Raul Banasco. He is an expert in prisons, in the Florida prison system. He's worked in Florida. He's worked in other states. And he will tell you about the prison system and how Jose will fit into it. If you do vote to condemn him to death, I think your knowledge and common sense tells you that he will exist as a prisoner for years until that happens. And if you should vote for life without possibility of parole, then he will exist in prison forever and ever. And Raul Banasco will tell you how that might be, so that you have a fuller picture there. You will also hear from a lady who knew Jose a long time ago, knew him well, knew him intimately. She will come in and testify. She, at least, is not afraid of what people on social media might say about her. She will come in difficult circumstances and tell you a little bit more about Jose. That's all I have for this afternoon. The judge mentioned travel problems. That's my witnesses. We have a problem wrangling them and getting them here from Connecticut. I do expect that we are going to have some of Jose's family members arrive this afternoon in Palm Beach. We will speak to them this evening. The state will have a chance to speak to them tomorrow, and you will hear from one or two or three or maybe all four of them tomorrow. I'm not sure how many are actually going to get on the plane. And so I don't want to leave you in a mystery. I wish I could tell you who's going to be here and what they're going to say, but you and I will learn together probably. But the thrust of the matter is that you will have plenty of mitigators to consider. And because I am missing witnesses, will probably alter and enlarge some portions of my intended argument that will be addressing what it might mean to you and how you will make your moral decision. As you have learned in jury selection, it's your own personal moral decision. I'm going to offer you, how about that, some guidance in that way. So you will hear some witnesses for the defense this afternoon. I think you will hear from some of Jose's family members tomorrow. And then I think you're going to be making your decision or retiring to deliberate about it at some point tomorrow. That's all I have for you right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. And the state may proceed with its case.
Yes, sir. The people of the state of Florida call Elizabeth Bedolla.